what's going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some work on Franken Jeep tonight. I'm going to be doing a little more work on OSO The Ultra4. So we'll be going back and forth between the two. So let's get to it. Joe is taking apart this hub and he wants to see about doing a disc brake conversion because it has drums on it and, well, drums suck. So what we're looking at doing, because Joe on this rig wants to do everything basically show budget based and cost effective, instead of spending hundreds of dollars on a brake conversion, we're going to use these rotors that we already have. So, are you done?
10 p.m. They're back to normal hours.
Good for you.
Yay!
So what we're going to do is, we have these other brackets, but wrong bolt pattern. We're going to use the existing drum bracket as a template. And we're going to try, just for kicks, see if we can build off it. So we'll cut this little section out and then fabricate the tabs for the brake and see if we can get the offset right. But first, Joe has to get some calipers. So we'll be right back. We're going to go run and grab some calipers and see what we can make work.
So like Daniel said, we're working on doing a custom in-house disc brake conversion. Part of the reason is because we are trying to do this as a budget build and show you ways that you could potentially keep your costs down as well. So to buy just the adapters, so it'd be the plate plus the shield, the dust shield, you're looking at about $100 to $120 to get it online. To buy an actual conversion kit that comes with everything, you're looking at about $700. So what I'm going to try to do is use a bracket. This is, I believe, off a Dana 60, which is just a little too big to fit on here. But I'm going to use this as a template. We're going to cut up the old dust shield that came off of the drum brakes and fabricate a mount for brake calipers. Yeah, you're funny looking. I know. Okay, so I completely forgot about this when I drew this on here. We were trying to make it easy because there's already the hookup or the bracket for the drum brake. Thankfully, all these holes are the same, and I was able to rotate this because we want this to sit on an angle because the bleeder needs to be facing up. So something like that. So I'm going to put the hub on, the rotor, and we're going to try to line this caliper up. So it's close, but it's not touching, and that's what we want. So yeah, it can work as a dust shield. And that, it's gonna sit on there like that. So then all we're gonna have to do is fabricate some sort of bracket to fit right here on the back, similar to the top of this. Now these are actually threaded. This bracket, like I said, is for a Dana 60, and those calipers would go on this bracket, but these are threaded holes. So we're gonna either have to put a bolt through it, just like a shoulder bolt, or we'll have to thread the holes on the bracket that we fab.
You thread the holes on the bracket that you fab because this caliper is actually kind of a floating caliper, because even though it's threaded, this bolt can move and go all the way through. There's nothing holding it to the caliper. The caliper itself just floats.
So I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, I think we just about got everything where I want it here. Went ahead and cleaned this up because we're going to be welding this piece on the back of it here to hold our bracket. And I got the caliper here. I'm going to line this up and get this put together real quick. And then everything should be ready to tack on.
So Joe, what you thinking?
I'm tighten everything down here, take a look. But I think we have successfully fabricated a disc brake conversion on a CJ5 for approximately 80 bucks. That got me the calipers and the pads.
Yeah, this bracket is just steel threaded, nothing special really. We've got to check some stuff on it. We may have to shim a few things, possibly, but just basic dragging. We shot some air here through the caliper, the banjo bolt, and when you shoot in there, it creates pressure, so it clamps it a little bit. So we got to release a little pressure, but once it's got fluid in there, it won't.
I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, this is the clip for the back of the pad. That clips on the pad, and then this clips into the actual piston.
Oh, this goes on the piston.
Yeah, that's on the inside.
Okay.
Yep.
We don't need that right now.
Well, cool, man. That's a pretty beefy brake setup for this CJ.
That is a huge brake setup. Daniel asked me, are we going to do it on the rear too? I says, I don't think I need to do it on the rear.
Well, drums will do just fine.
Drums will do fine. I mean, there's vehicles today that run drums on the rear.
Yeah.
Most of your brakes, or trailers, brakes are drums.
Yeah.
You know, so they're still used very widely. They're just, for the front on something like this is just a lot safer, and it's going to have a lot better stopping power.
The only downside is this limits your wheel. You have to run a 17-inch wheel now.
Yeah, we're going to have to run a 17-inch wheel because of that. So these are off of, what is this, like a 2011 Dodge Ram or something like this? Yeah,
1500.
So these are off of a Ram 1500. These are off of a 19...
Those were actually the ones we used on the race car.
Oh, yeah.
On the previous brakes.
Oh, the drums.
Yeah, actually,
or the discs.
We had a video about a year ago. I'll put it up here somewhere.
Yeah. But then the calipers, we pulled the calipers are off of a what, 1970?
Yeah, this is a basic 3/4 ton caliper used on like a K5 or Chevy caliper. They're used on everything, so they're pretty popular to use. 4 swaps, and guess what? That caliper after cores is about 18 bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the whole setup tonight was right about 80 bucks once we returned the cores on these.
For 2 calipers, or I don't know where that.
Yeah, it was
30, for 2 calipers 40, and
50,
pads.
60, 70, about 70 bucks plus tax. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm happy with it. I like it.
Yep, burrs.
So, I'm going to tear it back apart. We're going to finish welding the back. We may actually put some kind of shim or
Yeah,
backbone in here.
This section right here, because the way this drum brake thing, what do you call that anyways now? It's a dust shield
It's
now.
now a dust shield.
But we're going to gusset this down so it adds strength that way. The actual ring where it bolts onto the hub is plenty strong. So we're not worried about that. But once we shim that, that'll be solid. And
I was going to paint these, but now I'm wondering maybe I should just clear coat them to keep them from rusting.
Well, no, clear coat doesn't really stick to metal.
Yeah, well, then maybe we'll paint them black. But yeah, I like it.
Just get some black caliper paint.
Yeah, I like it.
So, good job, Joe.
Boom. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is a true fabricated from spare parts and a brand new caliper. A disc brake setup on a CJ5. And I didn't spend $700 on a conversion kit.
No. Well, Joe has been over there working on the CJ. I have been working on OSO the Solid Axle Ultra4. No brakes tonight, but drive shaft stuff. So here's what I've been doing. On the rear of the car, we were running 1350 U-joints. Well, now we're running these gigantic 1480 joints that we talked about. So we swapped the yokes, redid the torque on the pinion nut, Loctited them, and it's good to go. On the front, we've got the 1480 yoke now. And Corey had these drive shafts made a while ago when he was going to convert, but we got a couple problems. So, a couple things. Number one, the shaft's too long. But in this case, I think we're going to cut the spline on the inside because of how much this travels. I think we'll be okay. We just got to make sure that it's not too short, because right now it is bottomed out and we still have about 4 inches of travel to go on the axle. But what happens is when it stops, it puts pressure back here and can create problems. So too long, we got to make an adjustment on that, but that's not a big deal. We'll get that fixed. The second thing is the actual diameter here. So the shaft itself, the diameter here, before this was the shaft, a lot skinnier. And we did that because, I don't know if you can see in here, at full bump, it gets really close to the exhaust. And right now we are almost touching. So, minor problem, we got to figure that out. Hopefully we can adjust the bump of the car, but I don't know. We'll come back to that. So, yeah, worst case, we have to have it retubed smaller. One good thing though is, right, I don't know if you can get in here, but right here, the yokes get very close to the tranny shifter. There we go. But as you can see, that is close. Before we were close and we made a custom selector shaft here, but now we're even closer. But thankfully, the way it all sits, there's no problems. So that part is good. So that's what I've been working on up here, just taking care of some of the stuff on this car. Didn't film too much of it because it was basically taking nuts off of the pinion and then retorquing them with Loctite. I was going to rebuild the T-case tonight, but we got a little bit caught up with Joe's disc brake conversion, which is cool because now we got an idea what's going on there. We just got to repeat it on the driver's side. So I will do a video probably tomorrow going through the T-case top to bottom, and most likely it'll just be a long time lapse of everything. I won't bore you with all the details, but I'll kind of show you what's going on a little bit. But you know, you can watch me for 10 minutes taking apart a T-case. So good times. Okay, I pulled the shaft out, and the good news is I have a lot that can get cut off. So that's awesome. At full bump, we're 1 7/8 away, and at full droop, we're 3 1/4. So you're talking like 1 1/4 that this is traveling. So we can cut as much of this off as we need to, and really not have a problem at all. So I'm gonna cut that, reinstall this, check that, and see how much of a problem the exhaust is. But other than that, minimal problems. I cut the shaft, and I think I already told you all this. Well, Joe, are you happy with the productivity of tonight's?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. fabricating up our own brakes on the front there. One caveat is I'm going to have to use 17-inch wheels. I already planned on doing that anyway.
Yeah, but the benefit of 17-inch wheels is they are plentiful when it comes to tires.
Absolutely.
Everything's in a 17 now.
A lot more options too. So, you know, obviously I would have saved a little bit of money if I stuck with the old 15s that came on it, but I never intended on using them anyway.
No.
So I didn't spend any extra money. I actually saved money doing the brakes the way we did. So I'm happy with it.
We've done enough brake caliper installs and custom stuff, whether it's race cars, custom rigs, or anything we do, that it's pretty easy to figure out. Most of the time we'll buy brackets, kits, and different things, but with Joe's Jeep, we're trying to show some different stuff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that's going to wrap up the video. Kind of a quicker one tonight, but definitely productive. Hopefully you learned a little bit about brakes and how you can create something on your own, and that sometimes drive shafts can be a problem. Bigger's not always better, but we will figure it out. So if not subscribed, make sure you get subscribed. If you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. Hit us up in the comments. Talk to us in the comments. Make sure you leave comments. We want to talk to you. And we'll see you guys later. Fist bump, Joe. Fist bump for you.